Presenting by the Be Aware Another Day, Another Story. Introduction. Hey everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about the collapse of the Soviet Union. It was a big event that happened a long time ago, but it still has a big impact on the world today. So let's get started. 1. Why collapse USSR? 2. How many part of USSR after collapse? The causes of the collapse. There were a lot of reasons why the Soviet Union collapsed. Some of the most important reasons were: 1. The economy was bad. 1. The Soviet economy had been struggling for a long time. 1. It was inefficient and didn't produce a lot of goods. 1. This led to a lot of shortages and people were unhappy. 2. The government was weak. 2. The Soviet government was not very good at listening to the people. 2. They made a lot of decisions that people didn't like. 2. This led to a lot of anger and resentment. 3. There was a lot of nationalism. 3. People in the different Soviet republics started to want to be independent. 3. They didn't want to be ruled by Moscow anymore. The events leading up to the collapse. The collapse of the Soviet Union happened pretty quickly. In just a few years, the once powerful superpower dissolved into 15 independent countries. Here are some of the key events that led up to the collapse. 1. 1989, the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, declare independence. 2. 1990, the Soviet Union holds its first free elections. 3. 1991, the Soviet government signs a new union treaty that would have given more power to the republics. 4. August 1991, a group of hardline communists attempt to overthrow Gorbachev. 4. The coup fails, but it further weakens the Soviet government. 5. December 1991, the Soviet Union officially dissolves. The long-term consequences. The collapse of the Soviet Union had a big impact on the world. It ended the Cold War, led to the emergence of new countries, and reshaped the global power balance. Here are some of the long-term consequences of the collapse. 1. The rise of nationalism and ethnic conflict in the former Soviet republics. 1. This led to a lot of violence and instability in the region. 2. The economic and political instability of many former Soviet republics. 2. This made it difficult for them to develop and improve the lives of their people. 3. The spread of democracy and human rights to the former Soviet republics. 3. This was a positive development that has made life better for many people. How many parts did the Soviet Union break into? The Soviet Union was a big country. It covered a lot of land and had a lot of people. When it collapsed, it broke into 15 different countries. These countries are: 1. Armenia. 2. Azerbaijan. 3. Belarus. 4. Estonia. 5. Georgia. 6. Kazakhstan. 7. Kyrgyzstan. 8. Latvia. 9. Lithuania. 10. Moldova. 11. Russia. 12. Tajikistan. 13. Turkmenistan. 14. Ukraine. 15. Uzbekistan. Why did the Soviet Union break into 15 parts? There were a few reasons why the Soviet Union broke into 15 parts. One reason was that the different parts of the Soviet Union had different cultures and histories. The people in these different parts wanted to be able to govern themselves in their own way. Another reason was that the Soviet economy was not doing very well. The different parts of the Soviet Union were not getting along very well, and they didn't want to share their resources with each other. What happened to the Soviet Union after it collapsed? After the Soviet Union collapsed, the 15 different countries that it broke into started to figure out how to govern themselves. Some of these countries were able to do this pretty well, but others had a harder time. Some of these countries also had to deal with ethnic conflicts and economic problems. What are the long-term consequences of the Soviet Union's collapse? The collapse of the Soviet Union had a big impact on the world. It ended the Cold War, which was a period of tension between the United States and the Soviet Union. It also led to the emergence of new countries in the world, which has changed the global balance of power. The collapse of the Soviet Union also had a big impact on the countries that were once part of it. It led to economic problems, ethnic conflicts, and political instability. Conclusion. The collapse of the Soviet Union was a big event that had a big impact on the world. It is still being felt today. In this video, we talked about how many parts the Soviet Union broke into after it collapsed, and what happened to the 15 different countries that it broke into. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this helps.